famous Monastery Road, Shongotedo. What makes this location so special? Let's take a look. Aha! I see. So, this is the beautiful street where Future Town by Cedarwood is located. No wonder we don't just talk about this property, we brag about it. Future Town by Cedarwood. Join the city evolution and purchase this premium property with a land title of CFO and consent judgment. 450 square meters sells for an introductory price of 25 million naira. Aha! Also, within the same playing field is Tribe City by Pwan Plus. This property also comes with a land title of CFO and consent judgment. 450 square meters sells for an introductory price of 30 million naira. Now, you have two great properties worth investing in. Both properties are located on Monastery Road, 2 minutes drive to the Lekki Ekpe Expressway and 1 minute from the beach. With excellent road networks and electricity supply, we are neighbors to ShopRite, School of Agriculture and Entrepreneurship Development, Mater Ecclesiae Coventry, and various established estates. With fast-paced appreciation, the decision to act smartly is in your hands. Buy Future Town by Cedarwood. Buy Tribe City by P1 Plus. We are making your home ownership dream a reality.
When we land.
Hello viewers, I am Ambassador Dr. Julius Oyedemi, your most astounding CEO 2023 P1 Group. The best radio to listen to is no other than Cedarwood Luxury Radio. Thank you.
This is Cedarwood Luxury Radio, Nigeria's first real estate radio.
Information, they say, is key. And by key, do well to join us every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m. live on Facebook and on YouTube. We are Cedarwood Luxury Online Radio, Nigeria's first real estate radio.
This is Vivian Imako, the ED, P1 Perfection Business Investments Limited, and you're listening to Cedarwood Luxury Radio. Keep it locked. God bless you.
Hello, this is Andy Paul. Keep listening to Cedarwood Luxury Radio.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Michael Ahwetie. I'm the Managing Director of P1 Pro, and I want to encourage you to subscribe to Cedarwood Radio.
Hello listeners, you're here with your global multiple award-winning real estate celebrity, Honorable Dr. Balaji Osage Onolaja, PhD, FIPA, Nigerian Youth Role Model, and the CEO, P1 Atlantic Property Network Limited. Keep listening to Cedarwood Luxury Radio.
Looking for a studio to run online radio shows, podcast series, record jingles? The Cedarwood Luxury Studio is highly equipped and available to give you the very best of studio experience.
All right. Yo, welcome to another moment right here on Nigeria's first real estate radio, Cedarwood Luxury Online Radio. Of course, it is the real estate market trend. This afternoon, we want to look into different real estate trend, different things happening in the real estate market, in the real estate industry. Yeah, of course, what we do on the real estate market trend is to bring to you the latest happenings in the real estate industry. My name is David, and this is Cedarwood Luxury Online Radio. We are Nigeria's first real estate radio. Do well to be part of the conversation this afternoon. It's 1:06. Hope you are having a wonderful Monday afternoon. Like, comment, and share so that everyone around you would be a part of this session. Tell everyone to tell everyone. And the real estate market trend is live. Yes, it is time to get updated. It is time to get informed. It is time to know the latest as regards real estate this afternoon. All right, quickly, we'll be looking into various trends in the real estate industry. We'll be starting off with rising interest rates, hot developers impact. Rising interest rate hot developers impact real estate financing, and also we'll also be talking about how yes, on Wednesday, before I continue on Wednesday, we'll be talking about how real estate investment by Nigerians in diaspora impact the economy. Yes, we'll be talking about that on Wednesday on the real estate in Nigeria program. So look out for that one. Yes. Would also this afternoon we'll be talking about builders urge sustainable housing, eco-friendly construction practice. Also, quickly, we'll be talking about, yes, I mentioned rising interest rate hot developers impacts real estate financing. Would also be looking into female engineers launch tech innovation hub in Lagos this afternoon. And yes, we'll also be talking about NERSEA seals facility in Abuja for environmental non-compliance. This and many more we'll be talking about this afternoon as far as the real estate market trend program is concerned. Yes. So do well to call everybody, come around. Everybody, come around. It is that time again of the day, that time again of the week to get yourself informed, to get yourself up to date of recent happenings in the real estate industry. We do this every Monday afternoon by 1 p.m. And the aim of this program is to be a source of information as when it comes to real estate, we tend to be a source of information to every one of you out there. So, yes, I have introduced the many powers I came with this afternoon, and do well to be part of the conversation. You can do that via the comment section. And you can also do that via our WhatsApp platform. Yeah, the number is right there on the screen. So take advantage. Call me, message me. I would love to hear from you. I want to know what you are up to this afternoon. I want to know where you are presently. And let's talk. All right. We'll start off with our very first this afternoon on the real estate market trend. Do not forget, this has to do with the latest trend. The latest happenings in the real estate industry. We bring them your way every Monday by 1 p.m. All right, so rising interest rates hurts developers, impact real estate financing. Let's talk about that quickly. And my source this afternoon is The Guardian. Yes, The Guardian happens to have a real estate sector. So I usually work with The Guardian to bring to you the latest updates as far as the real estate, conversation, real estate news is concerned. So this is your number one platform for real estate news. All right, real estate has historically provided a strong inflation hedge, but rising interest rates and looming housing crisis are rising concerns among property developers, mortgage operators, and professionals. The operatives are seeking government intervention in the housing and mortgage sector of the economy to maintain affordable rates for citizens. All All right. Persistently higher rates have continued to create headwinds for the real estate market. This morning, while we had our meeting, before commencing work officially for the day, one of our colleagues raised a concern about the fact that there has recently been an increase in building materials and all that, and how we can also have a price review on some of our properties. So this is part of what we're talking about. Persistently higher interest rates have continued to create headwinds for the real estate market, especially impacting commercial properties by increasing borrowing costs, reducing demand from developers and investors. The increase has unquestionably aggravated the nation's housing crisis. This has further made investors adopt a more conscious approach, given the ongoing rise in building materials prices due to inflation in the country. Now, if you're watching me right now out there, I would love to hear from you. But this time around, how much is the cost of renting an apartment in your environment? Do you have an idea when it comes to getting office spaces, when it comes to commercial real estate now? Yes, when it comes to getting, it might be an apartment, it might be any form of rentage. Yeah, how much does it cost? How much does it cost? Now, you're going to tell me what it used to be, what it used to be, and what it is currently. Yes. So I'd love to hear from you. Now, it says here that the increase has unquestionably aggravated the nation's housing crisis. So if you're out there, you've been looking out for an apartment, you want to get an apartment, you want to get an apartment. How much did you get the previous apartment that you have? And what is the difference between the recent one that you've been seeing? And the next question would be, would you rather continue with your old apartment because of the cost of getting a new apartment? I would love to hear from you. What is the latest amount of renting an apartment in your environment? Yes. So I made mention of the fact that the increase has unquestionably aggravated the nation's housing crisis, which is actually expected. The more we have increase in interest rates, the more we have increase in building materials, the more we have increased rentage for those that have rented, and also high rent for those that wants to get probably an office space or an apartment. This has further made investors adopt a more conscious approach, given the ongoing rise in building materials prices due to inflation in the country. The worst part of it is income is not even rising. Now, if we were faced in a situation where the more there is increase in price of whatever, there is increase in interest rates and income is increasing, it's going to be a different ball game altogether. But in a situation where income is still the same, it's not increasing, commodities are becoming expensive, building materials are becoming expensive, hence making rentage become high and all that. This, at the end of the day, will result in more of housing crisis, because this will send so many people. This will make so many people unable to afford, getting an apartment, and housing crisis would become an issue. Now, interest rates averaged 11.89% from 2007 until 2004, reaching an all-time high of 22.755% in February of 2024, and a record low of 6% in July of 2009. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, raised its key benchmark interest rate by 400 BPS to 22.75% on February 27, 2024. A new record high since at least 2007 and above forecast of 21%. The current lending rate is between 27.07 to 30%, while the inflation rate is 31.7% as at February 2024, and this is the month of March. Well, I wonder what the month of March is going to end with. According to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, before the hike in monetary policy rate to 22.75%, banks' lending rate had already reached 27% per year. Following the increase recently, the commercial real estate transaction market has been significantly hindered, while the construction and development of new properties have declined due to developers' reluctance to take an additional financial burdens and project skills. With demand for commercial properties decreasing and property values potentially increasing, investors are adapting to market shifts and identifying opportunities amid the challenges. I think it was last week that we talked about the fact that office spaces are now being converted, or is it office spaces are now being converted or something like that, or people are now taking advantage or using containers. Yes, containers are now being converted to office spaces and residential places because of the cost of building materials, the cost of having to build a standard structure. It is quite unfortunate that this is the point that we have gotten to, and we look forward to having renewed hope at the end of the day. Now, there has been also a shift from a seller's market to a buyer's market as a result of rising interest rates, which significantly impacted the supply and demand dynamics in the commercial property market. Experts say higher interest rate may cause a decrease in demand as businesses may be less inclined or able to invest in real estate, and developers may also become reluctant to finance new construction projects due to the increase of cost borrowing. Specifically, the rising interest rates have impacted residential rent rates more than commercial rent rates. An increase in interest rates discourages demand for buying homes, lending to more people choosing or being forced to rent. The increase in demand for rental properties results in higher residential residential rent rates. Also, it has reduced occupancy rates in commercial properties, leading to higher vacancy rates and affected property values. According to the Director, School of Environmental Studies, Moshid Abiola Polytechnic, Dr. Samson Agbato, the rising interest rates have led to an increase in the value of the active property market. Agbato, an estate surveyor and valuer, explained that higher interest rates can make borrowing money more expensive for real estate developers and consumers, while potentially making it harder to get approval for new applications for loans. Okay, he said the higher interest rates can increase the cost of financing for real estate developers and construction projects. This could lead to a slowdown in new construction and real estate development activities. When interest rates rise, the cost of borrowing is higher. Therefore, one may pay higher interest rates on new loans and potentially be unable to borrow more. The impact on existing loans may also vary depending on whether it is fixed or variable rate loan. Higher borrowing costs deter some potential buyers from entering the real estate market or prompt others to delay their purchase decisions. Consequently, a decrease in demand can put down pressure in property price or result in stagnation of market activities, which is absolutely very, very, very true. In your own words, in your own opinion, what do you think the government can do to help the real estate industry when it comes to interest rates? How do you think the government can help the real estate industry when it comes to interest rate? Because the higher interest rates we have, the harder it becomes for developers to be able to access loan, to put out standard structure. And if they are able to get these loans on higher interest rates, it would fall back to the consumers who want to rent or buy some of these properties, because these developers would, want to make back their profit. They want to make profit, right? And this would bring about a super increase and hence causing a decrease in demand. And it will slow down real estate development, which will in turn impact the economy negatively, because when business is not going fine, you know what is at stake. Let me take you to the next trend on the real estate industry. This time around, builders urge sustainable housing, eco-friendly construction practice. The Nigerian Institute of Building, NIOB, has called for the implementation of environmentally friendly construction practice, which utilizes eco-friendly materials and adhere to energy-efficient building standards for safety and sustainability. It also urged authorities at the federal and state levels, as well as the citizens, to engage certified professionals to reduce building collapse in the country. The chairman, NIOB Lagos chapter, Mr. Deoye Thomas, who made the call at the 2024 Builders Week organized by the chapter in Surulere, Lagos, said the tragedy at 63 Marset Street 5 years ago, where over 20 lives were lost, stands at a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of negligence, substandard materials, and the use of quacks in construction. Speaking on the theme, the role of builders in sustainable housing delivery, he explained that builders are responsible for executing construction projects using sustainable practice that minimize waste generation, reduce energy consumption, and optimize resource utilization. And in that, they are trained to incorporate renewable energy systems such as solar panels and geothermal heating and cooling systems into the design and construction of sustainable homes. This, he said, will help to reduce reliance on non-renewable energy source, lower carbon emissions, and enhance energy efficiency. Builders play a critical role in selecting and using eco-friendly building materials that have minimal environmental impact throughout their life cycle. These include materials with recycled content, sustainably sourced wood product, low emission paints and finishes, and insulation materials with high energy efficiency, he said. Now, this comes to my mind after reading especially the part that talked about renewable energy. I happen to live in a very nice environment, and the reason why I love that environment is because of the fact that I call it a green environment, filled with trees, very beautiful. But there's just one thing about that environment: generator. There's this song that said, "Generator won't bust my ear." I look forward to an environment where a generator-free environment. Yes, I look forward to generator-free environment. Even if there's no constant power supply, solar power and all that thing. So when there's no lights, everywhere is still cool, calm and quiet, green environment, trees and all of that, And this is what NIOB is talking about. This is what they are trying to advocate. This is what they are advocating, eco-friendly construction practice, eco-friendly environment. Builders, should be able to sustain housing that is eco-friendly. They should be able to implement eco-friendly construction practice in all sorts of construction, especially several real estates that is, practicing here and there. So I look forward to an environment, an estate, an environment in different environments here in Lagos that is eco-friendly, emission-free, green, powered by solar, just something that is healthy for residents at the end of the day. Now, he further challenged builders to always bear in mind the social, economic, and environmental implications of their work. Thomas also advised the government to implement policies that encourage local production of building materials, give tax breaks, and subsidize for manufacturers to reduce reliance on imports, and promote local content by encouraging the use of locally sourced materials in construction projects through public procurement policies and awareness campaign. He lamented the high cost of imported materials, saying there was the need for innovations to manage costs by adopting more sustainable construction practices that utilize local resource and minimize waste. All right. Yes, that is that for that. You can pick The Guardian to get further to get further information on that particular one. Let's quickly move on to the next. This afternoon, I want to bring to you this very one this afternoon that says government should subsidize housing scheme to assist low-income earners. I am part of those that this initiative will benefit. Yes, government should subsidize housing schemes to assist low-income earners. This conversation cannot be overemphasized. This conversation has been raised severally over and over and over again. And I'm wondering what the delay is all about. I'm wondering why there is so much delay when it comes to subsidized housing scheme. There are so many people out there that wants to get affordable house. I don't have 1 million to pay per year for rent. I may not have 1.2 million, 1.5 million, but I should be able to afford an apartment of at least 500,000, 300,000, 400,000, 600,000. So this is where the government comes in. Government should be able to subsidize housing scheme in order to assist low-income earners. So we don't have people squatting, people on the street, people having to experience embarrassment from people that accommodate them. How somebody accommodates you and you're getting a lot of embarrassment, a lot of regrettable experience and all that unnecessary happenings. You see? So now let's dive deep into this conversation. Now, Margaret Oguntala is the president, Nigeria Society of Engineers, NSC, and only female elected in 65 years of the profession. She spoke to Victor Bonegun on how professionals can mitigate the impact of inflation on the construction industry, improve access to housing, and curb immigration among young professionals. The persistent inflation is having an impact on almost all facets of life, including the construction industry. Prices of construction items are skyrocketing with effect on bill of quantity, contract, and variations in contract awards. How can professionals manage such development without litigation? Now, this is the response. It is relevant, especially given the current economic situation in our country. Dealing with inflation in the construction industry can be challenging. Still, engineers have developed innovative ways to tackle it without resorting to litigation. Engineers have their own bill. The Bill of Engineering Measurement and Evaluation, BEME, like that is BEME. The BEME has built-in mechanisms to prevent disputes. At the start of a project, the price of basic construction materials are listed in the contract agreement, and these prices are used to determine the contract rate of items of work and lead to the contract sum. For major contracts, a provision called variation of price (VOP) is included, typically around 5% of the contract sum. This provision helps to absorb any price increase in the basic construction materials that may occur during the construction project. In situations where inflation is high, the 5% VOP can be used to cover any fluctuations in prices. Now, a question was asked to Margaret Ogutala now. And the question is, what are you planning to do differently to further uplift the engineering profession, especially in women profession? Now, this was her response. My commitment is to implement several initiatives to uplift the engineering profession, especially for women. I plan to promote gender diversity by raising awareness about the importance and providing support and mentorship for female engineers at all careers. Now, let me quickly scroll to this very question, which addresses the housing scheme and how government can come in. Now, the question goes thus. Access to affordable housing is becoming difficult, which with ever-increasing price of homes, especially by low-income earners. How can government, ameliorate the plight of this greed of Nigerians? This was our response. To address the challenge of low-income earners accessing affordable housing in Nigeria, the government can consider implementing various measures. Firstly, introducing subsidized housing programs aimed of assisting low-income earners with financial assistance or grants to afford housing or offering housing units at discounted rates. You see, very, very simple. Government can consider, and it is important that they consider it. They should consider implementing various measures. Firstly, introducing subsidized housing programs aimed at assisting low-income earners with financial assistance or grants to afford housing, or grants to afford housing or offering housing units at discounted rate. At what discounted rate? Now, secondly, collaborating with developers through public-private partnership (PPP) to construct affordable housing units will reduce construction costs and increase supply. Additionally, implementing land use reforms to reduce land acquisition costs for housing development. Can make housing more affordable. Implementing land use reforms to reduce land acquisition costs for housing development can make housing more affordable. This can include providing land at reduced rates or offering incentives to developers to build affordable housing, improving infrastructure such as roads, water supply, and electricity in pre-urban and semi-urban areas can also make these areas more attractive for housing development, leading to increased supply and potentially lower prices. Now, introducing or enhancing housing finance initiatives such as mortgage schemes from the National Housing Fund, NHF, targeted at low-income earners can make it easier for them to access housing loans and purchase homes. The government should provide loans at single-digit interest rate, not the prevailing bank rate, implementing regulatory reforms to streamline obtaining permits and approvals for housing development. Can reduce construction costs and make housing more affordable. Another point there is encouraging community-led housing initiatives where communities can come together to build affordable housing projects. To build affordable housing projects can also be a cost-effective way to increase the supply of affordable housing. Finally, implementing rent control policies to implement the amount landlords can charge for rent can help protect low-income earners from excessive rent increase. Additionally, the government can bring down rent through the provision of numerous housing schemes. You see, this housing scheme of a thing cannot be overemphasized. There is somewhere in the Gondo where I don't know who owns that, if it is a government-owned property, where you have these, is it at the Gondo? Yes, close to a Gondo bus stop. A number of buildings. If you have projects like that, when it comes to housing, if you leave it to the private sector, it is going to be very super expensive. Yes, the private sector will play their own role. Those that will be able to afford. Now, at the end of the day, this is just to reduce housing crisis in Lagos especially, and in Nigeria generally. So government can or should and must to reduce housing crisis. It is expedient, it is important that government now go into or look into, getting or implementing housing scheme, affordable housing scheme for low-income earners. You have access to land. Get some of this land. Put up structures. 1 room, 2 rooms, bungalows. It doesn't necessarily have to be luxury. People just need a place to put their head. They just need a place to rest. After all the hustle and bustle of Lagos and work and all that, they just need somewhere. If you go to some people's house, all you just see is a bed. They just need to rest. And then with time, when you grow financially, you can now start thinking of luxury apartments and all that. But people just need a place to rest. A room is okay for some people. 2 rooms is okay for some people. So it is not a rocket science. Have different structures at different places where people can get this apartments at very, very subsidized rates and very, very affordable rates. So it is important that government should subsidize housing schemes to assist low-income earners like me. All right, let me take you to the next trend on the real estate market trend. And this time around, female engineers launch Tech Innovation Hub in Lagos. That's an awesome one. Beautiful one that deserves an applause. Yeah. Okay. I saw something that distracted me a bit. All right, yeah. So let's segue into this one. Female engineers have established a new resource technology and innovation hub in Lagos, which is aimed at empowering female engineering students, young engineers, and members to drive technological innovation. The hub being promoted by the Association of Professional Women Engineers, Pwan, Lagos chapter, is made possible through the donation of a 200 capacity hall by the Faculty of Engineering at the University of Lagos. The hall will create a collaborative ecosystem where female engineering students with a set of boys, young engineers can access resource, exchange knowledge, and develop innovative solutions to address societal challenges. Speaking at her inauguration as the chapter new chairman launching of the hub, Mrs. Akinuke Owolabi disclosed that the hub will offer members and aspiring engineers access to cutting-edge resources to enhance their skills and capabilities, adding that the hub is aptly named after Ife Oyedele Resource, the president of the Unilag Alumni Association Worldwide and the executive director network of Niger Delta Power Holding Company. Some of the key features in the hub include cutting-edge technology, high-speed internet connectivity, entrepreneurship hub, and modern infrastructure to support various activities such as workshops, seminars, hackathons, 200 capacity hall, innovation lab, and networking events, and state-of-the-art facility. Owolabi explained that the hub will also be deployed for research and development, engaging the local schools, universities, and community organizations to promote science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM education, mentorship, and career guidance for young girls interested in pursuing engineering and technology careers, while the chapter will leverage strategic partnership with government agencies, corporate sponsors, academia, and NGOs to sustainably operate the resource. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who was represented by the Chief of Staff, Tayo Ayinde, expressed confidence in her capacity to take up the assignment and lead Pwan in Lagos to a greater height. He said Lagos State's government is ready to collaborate and partner with Pwan in its assignment of uplifting women engineers in the state. All right. Having said that, I bring you to the next update trend on the real estate market trend this afternoon. Yes, it says here that Nasra seals facility in Abuja for environmental non-compliance. All right. The National Environmental Standard and Regulation Enforcement Agency, NESRA, has sealed factories and estates in Abuja for failure to comply with the environmental laws. The facilities are located at premises of Verities Plastic Almat Farms, DEAC Nigeria Limited, FIK Constructing Limited, Silas Ventilated Homes Limited, Peachville Estates, Net Construction Nigeria Limited, Sazak Ark Bilog, DB Abato Limited, FR Properties Limited Homes, this one, Finanda Mill, and Skippers Electronics. Okay. The agency Director General, Professor Juaro Aliyu, told journalists that the exercise in Abuja was a fallout of the federal government, the Federal Ministry of Environment retreats in Kaduna on environmental compliance, monitoring, and enforcement. Aliyu, who was represented by the Director, Inspection and Enforcement, Abdusalam Issa, explained that part of their mandate is to ensure compliance, enforce compliance with extant environmental standards, guidelines, rules, and regulations. The owners of the facilities failed to comply with environmental concerns ranging from environmental impact assessment, EIA, environmental audit, EA, environmental management plans, and environmental permits, both in the green and brown environment, he stressed. The Director General further stated that a total of 10 facilities in the green sector and 3 in the brown sector were sealed, adding that the agency followed due process in clamping down after exhausting all relevant communications in respect of their environmental status. We observed that some of the facilities earlier sealed had broken the federal government seals. However, such facilities are to face punitive measures for their actions. We frown at the high level of non-compliance of facilities to environmental laws, and we replicate enforcement in all states of the federation. Please, you should come to Lagos too. It's all good. That's a nice one, a good one, a great one. It is important that owners of facilities adhere to environmental laws. If you don't adhere to environmental laws, how do you want to, run successful business with your facility? If your facility is nuisance to the environment, how then do you want to enjoy doing business, especially with your facility? All right, I'll take this very last one. For today, Lagos rekindles rentals' hope assures on monthly rental policy. Do you rental policy? Okay. Monthly rental policy and yearly rental policy. Which do you prefer? Which would you go for? Monthly rental policy, yearly rental policy. Which one? I can't hear you. Put it in the comment section. I can't hear you. Write it. Type it in the comment section. Monthly rental policy, yearly rental policy. Which one do you think would favor you, or favor Nigerians, or favor anybody? Not favor Risakwe. I'm looking for trouble now. Once again, the Lagos State government has raised hope for home renters, assuring that by the end of this year or early next year, relief will come their way as it will implement and enforce the monthly rental policy initiated a couple of years ago. So why has it not been implemented all these years, all this while? For a state where 80% of its estimated 20 million population lives in rented accommodation, the implementation of this policy will not only help individuals and household income a great deal, but also stabilize the state's rental market, which is to a large extent landlord's market. Bakarat Odunuga Bakare, the special advisor for Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on housing, who disclosed government's plan to revisit the monthly rental, said the idea is in line with global best practice, explaining that in other countries of the world, tenants don't pay rent in advance as it is the practice in Lagos and other Nigerian cities. Somebody in the abroad now said something that the reason why it is easy for them to pay rent monthly is because of their level of income, and also because of their economy as well. You see it now. But for us here, it might not really work, because even if you ask, renters, people that want to rent, they'll prefer to pay yearly than to pay monthly. If you say you want to pay monthly, what happens to that? What happens to you? Or what will happen if that particular month you don't get, money no enter the way it entered last month? So people would rather go. I think for Lagos here, for Nigeria here, it's a unique case. The case is different here. People would rather go for yearly rent than the monthly thing, because I think it is easier. You can just gather the money, save it somewhere, and just pay. But in a situation where, like I heard, some people collect 2 years rent, I think that should not even be that should even be what should be. That should be what the government should look into. It should be yearly rent, reduced rent, subsidized rent, and all that, instead of this monthly thing. There will be people that would actually buy into it. Not everyone really would want to buy into it. Okay. So we all see what is being done in other climes, but the question is, it is not just don't just look at what other countries are doing. They are doing it because of their level of economy, their level of income, and all that. Do we have the same thing here? So before you can say other countries are doing it, the question is your own country like the other country that you want to? Is your country like their own country? Is the economy the same? Is the environment the same? Is everything the same? So before you can copy any policy from any country, ensure that the environment that you are operating is literally the same from the country that you want to copy or whatever. So it says here that we all see what is being done in other climes. Rents are collected monthly. Hence, we are looking and hoping that before the end of the year or by early next year, we will be able to implement the policy of monthly rental. Also, the rental would be charged according to tenant earnings. She said, if that's the case, according to what? Tenant earning. So, if for instance, I'm earning 100K per month, how much will my rent be at the end of the year? Or how much will my rent be every month? 10K or 20K? Well, it's not. Talk is cheap. Talk is really cheap, but we need action. We need more of action. Continuing, the special advisor noted, the good part about it is that we would be test running it first within the public sector, since we can ascertain how much everybody is earning. And once we see that it works in the public sector, we can now push it to the private sector. It might be difficult pushing it to the private sector because those guys want to make their money back, man. Those guys, they don't want to hear anything, huh? So I think it will work more for the public sector with public houses, with government, houses. You know what I mean now. So, as a response to what is obviously rental crisis in Lagos, Sanwo-Olu in 2001 noted that the current rental model in which people pay yearly rent in advance to property owners has become inadequate to address temporary realities in the housing sector, especially in cities where demand for property is high and expensive. The governor, who spoke at the 10th meeting of the National Council on Land, Housing and Urban Development held in Lagos, advocated a monthly rental system, which he said would be affordable to low and middle income earners, the yearly rent obligation. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, let me take this part. I want to take this part because it has some statistics here. My time is up already. I'll just do this in 1 minute. As Minister of Works and Housing, Fashola also pursued unsuccessfully, though, the idea of monthly rent, believing that the yearly rental system had created inequality in housing supply and winded the affordability gap for low-income earners. When Rabiu Olowo, the 10th Commissioner of Finance in Lagos, announced the 15 billion naira capital for the monthly rent, he disclosed that the scheme was set up to support both tenants and landlords regarding rent remittance. The commissioner, who spoke at a 2-day event organized by the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority, Sarah tagged Lagos 21st Century Real Estate Investment Hub, disclosed further that the first set of beneficiaries of the scheme will be drawn from the formal sector, the second will be from the informal sector, and others will follow accordingly. To start with, 15 billion portfolio has been put in place To kick off the scheme, we welcome more support from among financial institutions to raise the bar of the portfolio for the masses. Okay. In other words, at the end of the day, this implementation or this policy will strive or will fly when government, brings about affordable housing scheme, when we have more of government houses, when we have more of government structures, affordable houses provided by the government, it will fly. So yes, the government by itself will be able to implement some of these policies on its own property. It will be difficult to implement this, policy on private property. So begin with your own property. Government property, affordable housing. Begin with, affordable housing scheme. Begin with affordable housing structure. Begin with that. Let it open. The other side is, even when the government will come up with its own housing scheme and all that, housing structure, politics will come into it. Only a few persons will be able to mago and backdoor will start entering. At the end of the day, it will become a failed project. But if the government will be sincere and its agency will be sincere and every other person working with the government in the housing sector will be sincere, establish housing scheme, affordable housing structures at different locations, different places. Let it out to the public at affordable prices. Pay monthly, so and so price. Okay, 100,000 income earners. This is the housing that you can afford. 200, things like that. This is very simple, not rocket science. All right, on this note, wow, 158. On this note, this is where I'll draw the curtain. I hope I've been able to bring to you the latest. I hope I've been able to inform you. I hope I've been able to bring you up to date with the latest happenings in the real estate market. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you all. I love you. See you again by 4 p.m.
I'm live here in Akwa Ibom State, precisely. Akwa Ibom State is the highest oil producing state in Nigeria. And here in Akwa Ibom State, we have a whole lot of road network. From here now to 5 minutes drive, now you will see the airport. In the last 10 years, this state was not like this. But Akwa Ibom State, Uyo presently is a state, it's a city where good things are going to happen. So I advise my investors, this is the right time to invest. Don't miss this opportunity. Uyo is a mind-blowing city.
10, 15, 20 years ago is gone. Today is another day for investment. My name is Focus, the BDE, P1 Plus Real Estate Company, owners of all Cedarwood Luxury Estates here in the city of Uyo. This way to Promised Land. Follow me.
It's a very nice place. This Promised Land, they have really done a lot. Seriously, this is my first time I'm experiencing a site that is already well fenced, demarcated. Wow, this is amazing. I'm so blessed to come into this Promised Land, and I believe everybody there should come and join me and benefit from this.
With all these features and amenities mentioned, we bring you Promised Land by Cedarwood. The price of this wonderful estate is 3.5 million naira. Title, freehold. As you all can see, the fencing have been completed. The plot demarcations have been completed. My smart investors, the right time to invest in this wonderful estate is now. Thank you and God bless you.
P1 Plus, making home ownership a reality.